What's going on YouTube? It's Mid-40s Gamer here coming at you with some more Elden Ring content. Today we're going to be taking a look at a handful of rune farming locations that are still viable after patch 1.03, which changed a few things and shattered a few of our favorite toys. These strategies will help you level up quickly if you're just starting Elden Ring a few weeks after launch, giving you the edge that you need to tackle some of the more difficult boss fights throughout the land so you don't lose your gaming dignity like an intern at a cigar club. Most of these methods are fairly simple and can be accomplished relatively early on in your playthrough with no special weapons or items required, and we've also included one method that'll require you to have a bit of AoE skill to make it worth your while. So let's say a silent prayer for the Sword of Night and Flame, tell Melina we want to go fast, and get after it. Our story begins early on in Limgrave at the Third Church of Marika, and for those of you who were just starting out, as you can see from the map footage, you can easily reach this location after you unlock your Spirit Steed Torrent. Behind the church, hidden in the water behind some bushes, is a teleporter that'll take you to an area where two of these farming methods are located. After rematerializing with all your important parts intact, you'll land in Grail's Dragon Barrow, which is a mid-game area. While you might be second-guessing this, just stay steady on your course since we're showing you this at our base starting level. You can head out on Torrent loosely to the southeast until you hit the first point of grace near a long bridge guarded by a dragon. After hopping off Torrent and lighting this site of grace, you can consider this home base for this farming method. There are a few ways to actually go about this method, the first being to kill the nearest enemy and fast travel back to the bridge to reset in order to rinse and repeat, and the second method, which becomes more efficient when you level up a bit more, to set up a rotation where you can kill a score of these enemies for about 20k runes per run. For now though, since one mistake or one hit out here will spell our death, we'll stick to the practical beginner tactic of killing one enemy for just shy of 2,000 runes and fast traveling to reset. It is important to note that as a caster, you'll have an easier time out here since it gets pretty dicey operating with a melee class. You can utilize Torrent to speed up this process, and even just starting out, this method can net anywhere from 126,000 to 150,000 runes per hour, which is actually a boatload when you're just starting out. If you're just dipping your toes into From Software's unforgiving landscape, as farming methods go, this one isn't rocket science, but it's not easy either, depending on the class you chose. After bringing down this enemy, you're probably picking up what we're putting down, so we'll move on. Our next location is far less threatening, and as you can see from the map footage, it's a stone's throw away from your current location, but getting there could be slightly nerve-wracking if you're seeing it for the first time. You have a choice to make here. The first is riding past the dragon on the long bridge and making a left at the end to shimmy down a cliff face on some roots, or you can take the poison trap route to the smaller bridge, which will land you right at the point of grace you're looking for. It is important to note that the smaller bridge is guarded by a boss during the evening hours, so it's far easier to travel during the day. Once you light the point of grace, you can hop on Torrent and prepare to exploit a game mechanic to cheese some runes out of the game while supplies last. The method here is to ride Torrent to a trigger location under the bridge, which will spawn a sphere of death that will track you in order to turn you into a meat pancake. As soon as the ball spawns, all you need to do is dodge it by whatever method you like and observe it falling off the cliff. Once it goes over the edge, you'll receive just about 2,000 runes per run. Then all you need to do is just pop the top of your map and fast travel to reset the ball. Once you find your rhythm and you're dialed in, this cheesy yet lucrative method will yield you anywhere from 300 to 500k runes per hour consistently with no risk of death. The third location, and by far our favorite, is unlocked by doing a side quest from the first NPC you'll come across, White-Faced Vare. And if you need a detailed description on how to get there, we'll leave a link in the description just for you. After completing the quest, you'll find yourself in Mogwin's Palace, and you'll see from the map footage that it's an optional area and can be accessed early by completing this short quest or uncovering a teleporter later on in the game in the consecrated snowfields. This location is well worth a small amount of legwork to get here, since all it's comprised of is a short run shooting at a bird across the way until it chases you and falls off the cliff, which yields you just over 11,000 runes per run, with no special rune enhancing items or the need for any endgame area of effect weaponry. Once the bird falls, all that's left to do is make a short run back to reset the area at the point of grace, and rinse and repeat this process until you're blue in the face. This is the ultimate area for raking in runes. Even without the use of a golden scarab talisman or the pickled fowlfoot consumable, you can expect to see about 3 or 4 million runes per hour if your rotations are spot on, making this method far easier than eating soup with a fork. Our next location is the Damanula Windmill Village and can also be reached early with a bit of legwork, and as you can see from the map footage, it's located far north from your starting location. It is important to note that to reach this area, it will require you to grab a few items to activate the Lift of Dectus to unlock the upper plateau of the world map. Keep in mind this location will also require you to have acquired some sort of AoE skill or beastly melee weapon. So to label this as an efficient beginner farming method, it's a stretch. And the aforementioned methods yield far better results. The reason we threw this method in here is mostly so you don't get that feeling you paid full price for a knockoff Rolex, or have the wool pulled over your eyes, especially after watching videos that claim this farming method is a viable beginner farm that would yield you millions of runes. In reality, as a beginner, you'll only take in about 200,000 runes per hour without the golden scarab or the pickled fowlfoot, and death can come swift if your timing is even slightly off. All that being said, if you want to give it a shot and see for yourself, you can pick up 1 or 2 weapons early on that'll afford you some AoE prowess. Even at low levels and even after the devastating nerfs to these weapons, they still get the job done, just not fast enough to make it worthwhile. After mopping up the remaining enemies faster than the back room at the adult shop, all you need to do is reset the Site of Grace and repeat this cycle. This next spot is actually one of our favorite low-maintenance farming spots, if you even consider it farming at all. And as you can see from the map footage, it's located in the northeast corner of the Wailing Sands, which becomes available after defeating Starscourge Radon, who can be defeated fairly early on with some good old-fashioned ranged attacks. This is one of our favorite methods when we have stuff to do around the house, but we want runes as well. After entering the War Dead Catacombs, we'll set the stage by running down the hall, making a left and moving slightly down the staircase to activate another Rot Knight to get in on the action, and then we'll slink off into an area out of the way where we won't be disturbed. If you want or need a guide for this method, we'll be sure to leave a link in the description just for you to check out. There are far better areas to hide out in, and you can also receive runes if you run all the way back to the Site of Grace. But what makes this method more magical than a leprechaun riding a unicorn is the Mimic's Veil, which can be looted from a chest in a dining hall in Stormvale Castle, allowing you to camo up and put down the controller for a while. Eventually, this whole farming setup will have to be reset. The AI pathing gets locked after about 15 to 20 minutes, and you won't return to a boatload of runes, but it's not bad for being away from the controller. Well folks, it looks like we're coming to the end of another Elden Ring video as we contemplate burning some more candles, since setting people we hate on fire is frowned upon. We would like to take this time to personally thank you for watching, and if you haven't done so already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on any new mid-40s gamer content. And if you aren't too busy wondering why the teabag was an accidental invention, leave us a comment in the comment section and let us know how we're doing. So until next time, just remember, almost 163,000 pints of Guinness are wasted in facial hair each year. Bubble wrap was originally intended to be a wallpaper, and as always, good hunting.